Good morning, YouTube. Hey guys, thanks for tuning into a brand new adventure with Adventuring Art. That's me. I am out on a drive. I'm going out to Ray Roberts State Park today, and I wanted to invite you along for the drive. I know it's a little dark in here this morning. It's early, probably 6 in the morning, but I wanted to hit the park early before everyone shows up and before everyone wakes up at the house, so I can spend time with them as well. Heading out to the lake, I just wanted to invite you along, show you around the lake, show you the park itself, and also introduce you to a new friend of mine named Calypso. More details about that here in a second. With that, yeah, let's hit the road and enjoy a fun trip to the lake on this cloudy day. I wonder if the sun is going to peek out because it's not forecasted to. It's been raining here quite a lot. Rain, there's been hail, as you guys have been aware of, and if you've seen any of my other videos, you're aware of at least. And yeah, let's go ahead and get the video started. In today's video, I wanted to talk about a giant new change in Adventuring Art's life here. That is the introduction of a brand new vehicle that I'm driving today. It's I found a 2020 model, so we're now in 2021. So a 2020 model is one of yesteryear's model that was still on the lot, and I was able to get a really good deal because obviously they're trying to get rid of those previous years. And I found a 2020 Chevrolet Bolt. That's Bolt with a B as in boy, and it is the Premier Edition. This vehicle is not, I stress the word not, a gasoline powered vehicle. There's absolutely zero fossil fuels that power this ride. So there's no oil, there won't be any more oil changes, there won't be any more gas fill-ups. As I drive past these gas stations this morning, I simply just ignore the prices. I don't even acknowledge or have a need to acknowledge the cost of gas. So a couple of questions that you might ask. Why electric? Why not just buy another gas vehicle? Well, I'm glad you asked that. The reason why I chose electric is because, number one, Silver, my pickup truck that I no longer am the owner of, uses around 15 miles average to the gallon of gas fuel economy. So on a trip like today's that I'm going right now, it says, I'd say about 50 miles. So 15 miles of the gallon, 15, 30, 45, blah, 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 math. So I'd say it's at least 6 gallons round trip on this drive, depending on fuel economy. 6 gallons. So with 6, maybe 7 gallons of gas at $2.60 a gallon, more math. What is 6 times 2.63?
6 times 2.63 is 15.78.
All right. So my little trip this morning would cost me $15.78. Okay, $15.78, rounding up to $16, because it's probably driving 75 miles an hour or stop and go and whatever. So yeah, $75 or $15, excuse me, to go to my nearest state park. Now, if in the electric vehicle, it gets about 300 miles to the charge. Right now, I looked at the this morning. I from the opening screen, I think it's at 314 miles till empty. So 300 miles was filled up with 66 kilowatts of energy. This vehicle uses battery power, and it stores 66 kilowatts. To put that in perspective, one of the reviews I did was a Bluetti AC 200p, which was a PowerStation by the Bluetti company, and that PowerStation uses 2 kilowatts maximum. That's 2,000 watts. So this is 66. So if you can imagine 33 Bluettis in this vehicle, which would fill it up to the max. So I don't know how they crammed it in here. The batteries are actually stored under the floorboard all throughout the vehicle. But those 66 kilowatts give me you know, roughly according to the range meter, you know, in the 300s, basically 300 miles. If you want to round down to be safe, 300 miles of distance. Well, what does 66 kilowatts cost to charge up? Well, the math on that is my electric company charges me 0.053 cents a kilowatt. And at 0.053 times 66 kilowatts, 66 times 0.053.
66 times 0.053 is $3.498.
$3.498 to fill her up and get 300 miles of distance. Now, again, I told you I'm driving rough out of, well, maybe I didn't. So I am driving roughly 50 miles there and 50 miles back. And these 50 miles, so 100 miles, would have cost me $15 in old silver. Whereas I can get 300 miles for about $3, 3 something. So if I were to do that in silver, so my $45 tank on silver cost me roughly, what was that, $3, right? So $3.50. So quite a drastic difference in gas savings. Next question. Well, why did you get rid of silver? What happened? Well, for those of you that are new to the channel, I had a major hailstorm come through my area, and most of the vehicles in my neighborhood that were parked outside were either totaled or near totaled. So the mechanics that worked on my vehicle, they did a great job, but you know, you just know that it'll never be the same as it was brand new. You know, I noticed some things on there. I mean, it wasn't terrible. There's nothing I could have went back and got replaced or repaired, but I felt like it was time, you know, having aftermarket parts as far as the right side windows replaced, the back rear lamp was replaced, the badge or the emblem got blown out and they had to replace that, and the windshield got replaced. So you never know, like rattles start happening in the windshield, and it was less than a year old, right? So I have all these giant replacement parts that are not factory. These are not factory seals anymore, so it's no longer pristine. So these are, for me, I felt it was time to, I had enough equity in the vehicle. I had put a significant amount of money down, and with that, I was able to transfer that equity into a new vehicle, and I got a really good deal. So, and this vehicle here, I was able to pay well over, I'd say 60%, maybe 70%, 60%, let's say, cash down from the equity from my my trade-in. So that just leaves me with a very small balance that's remaining. And this sort of dovetails into the reason why. The Mrs. Adventuring Art's vehicle was totaled out with the amount of hail damage that it had. And it was just way too significant, and we decided to go ahead and replace her vehicle. She's driving the Pacifica. I do have some videos here. I'll link to that down here in the description below of a little tour or walk around her vehicle. And this vehicle here is more of a, let's just say it's more of a adventure vehicle. This is more for me just to get around town. There is a so basically with her vehicle, what we did is we traded it in as-is condition, took the claims check and put that on top of what they are willing to offer us for the vehicle, and we actually ended up getting more. The combined total of the claims check plus the vehicle being traded, we got more than what the vehicle was actually worth. So that was a nice surprise. They treated us really well over in Denton at the Chevy dealership. Classic Chevrolet up there in Denton. So yeah, we got into this vehicle, and so we got into this Pacifica, the Mrs. Adventuring Art and I. So this is her ride. She's making the payments on there, you know, and I know I wanted to just bless her and help her make those payments. So I went ahead and said, well, the only way that I can help you with your payments is if I'm paying less on my vehicle, on the Titan. I still owed about 4 years and 10 months on it. So I went ahead and took out the remaining balance. Sorry about the road noise. About the remaining balance of this vehicle, the Chevy Bolt that I'm in, and I went ahead and put that. I financed that on a very short-term loan, so that I can help Mrs. Adventuring Art on her traditional style loan. You know, about a 5-year loan on hers, and I can help her knock that out. That's my goal. Is number one, to stop paying gas. So I'll be immediately transferring my gas budget into her payments in her vehicle, and the same thing goes for the reduction in payments on this one, the amount I'm paying, and any surplus or excess from gas savings we save from both vehicles. We'll be just paying that vehicle down. So, you know, ideally within 2 years, we'll be paid off of all vehicles, have zero debt, and other than the house, and be debt free. Several different reasons, but the main thing was if I can sell the Titan, get some money back from the losses, and then be debt free in a shorter amount of time, and basically half the amount of time had I kept the Titan, and then I can actually help Mrs. Adventuring Art have a new vehicle as well that is debt free and paid off. So there you have it, folks. Getting out of debt is an important thing so that you are prepared for life's adventures. All right, so onto the kind of, this is not the formal review of this car. I'm going to go ahead and do that eventually for you, but I just wanted to share a little update as how kind of like the how it happened and the why it happened and what vehicle I selected. Some cool features about this vehicle is that this car, you know, it's driving on electric, right? So the only thing you're hearing right now is the road noise and the wind noise. You're not hearing any engine sounds. So it may sound a little different than a typical driving video would sound. One of the things I like a lot about this vehicle is the fact that it sits really high up on the road. So I'm at basically the level of an SUV, kind of like the one that just pulled in front of us. I'm going a little slow right now because it's 50 or 60 here, but they're like saying, no, we're going to drive 90 or 100. All right, but it has this fun little, this mirror here. That's actually not that's a camera. So if I flip this to mirror mode, there's your mirror. There you are, YouTube. But that's actually a camera located on the back of the vehicle. So if I've got a bunch of stuff stored in the back of the car, then it will not obstruct my view because I'll have this camera showing what's exactly behind us. It actually shows a wider field of view than you're just looking at the rear windshield as well. So you've got a nice wide view back there. It does take some time to get used to because your depth of field changes. You can't really catch your depth of field on camera that way, so you can't see if it's deeper or in. So when you transition to look up there, where you're normally looking far away, you actually have to shift your focus to like you're looking at a TV just about 1.5 to 2 feet away from your face. So that takes a minute to get used to. It was almost borderline uncomfortable getting used to that feature, but then after driving around with it for this day, I love it. This is my favorite. It's probably one of my favorite features. Another favorite feature, so I drive, here's my setup. So I've got my car mounted here. I normally have got the directions on Apple CarPlay on this giant, looks like at least a 10-inch display down here. Kind of tells us where we're going. There's a energy meter that shows how much energy the Bolt is using. At a given point, it shows right now I'm pulling energy from the vehicle. If I were to slow down and brake, it would show that I'm putting energy back into that vehicle. I also have this new dash mount. This is the thing you probably have seen. Now, because of that weird blue tint, and I haven't found a spot to really mount this yet, my videos on this one aren't going to be as clear. So please bear with me while I work on that. All right, rather than make this video last forever and a day, which it's already at about 15 minutes, I'll go ahead and close out the video here. My last video got cut off for some reason, so I lost the audio, but I plan on doing a future video of us actually at the lake, kind of going around, and also the full review and the full tour of the vehicle. So I wanted to share that with you guys at least, so you can get prepared for the mini adventures that we're going to be doing now in Adventures in Calypso. I'm excited to share that with you. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you again, everyone that's supported the channel, Boondocking with Dennis, everyone else. Thank you, and we will see you guys on the next adventure. Later, folks.